And welcome to Your Vote Counts. Representative Hasenback, good to have you.
Thank you.
Leader Munson, good to have you.
Thank you.
The class wallet controversy continues this week. It's ratcheting up. The battle lines have been drawn. It's largely Republican, but your observation about what's happening.
State Auditor Byrd this week released a report looking over various programs that received federal funding because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And what this report elevated was that they're misspending of federal funds that were supposed to be dispersed out to Oklahomans, especially those who need it the most. This was something that House Democrats throughout this last legislative session, we sounded the alarm on possible misappropriation of funds. It's also why we keep calling for better accountability and transparency of where our tax dollars are being appropriated and who those are going to. They need to go to places where there is absolutely oversight and transparency.
All right, so as I've noticed or mentioned, there's Republican AG differing with Republican governor and the superintendent. Your thoughts about where the story's going?
First of all, there are just more Republicans in the building, so at some point we are going to have disagreements among ourselves. The biggest problem here is since November, we have a straight superintendent of public instruction who has not been doing the job for the 704,000 students in classrooms in the state of Oklahoma. When we go in to make budget negotiations, we have to leave our ideology outside and make sure that we're able to capitalize on the matches from the federal government so we can do our best job for all those students.
Okay, there's another disagreement happening right now, which is the tribes and the governor, and that's been going on for some time. This week at the 10th Circuit Court, it's sort of one of those cases that came out of a McGirt. The governor's not happy. I mean, this story seems to never go away, Representative.
Well, I think it goes back a little bit farther than that to before statehood and the Curtis Act and the Enabling Act. And when Congress said we have the municipality of Tulsa and we don't want you to be lawless in this situation as you're about to become a state. And so somewhere in all of that, this has gotten a little bit confused. At this point, I have 27 tribal governments in my district, and I'm confident that they will be able to work with the municipality of Tulsa and make sure that we are doing the best things for our citizens.
It's a really tough issue to understand. It's very complicated. It's a legal issue. Your thoughts, though, about the greater good for the state of Oklahoma and where this is all going?
Yeah, what the 10th Circuit ruled this week was basically acknowledging tribal sovereignty, and where we need to be as a state is really working in partnership with our tribal nations. We have historically been able to do that. This governor, unfortunately, continues to go after the tribes, continues to have all of this fighting, instead of focusing on, just as my colleague said, working on relationships, figuring out how to execute the law post-McGirt. And so at this point, we really need to pay attention to this ruling, acknowledge tribal sovereignty, and allow those two entities to work together and get back to working together in our partnership.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk about that big Supreme Court ruling and how it affects Oklahoma.